You're watching teleSUR English. My name is Gladys Quesada, and these are the headlines at this hour. This Monday, District Judge Vanessa Baraitser ruled that Julian Assange is not to be extradited to the U.S. to face charges of espionage and of hacking government computers. Now we offer you images of the courthouse. Outside the courthouse, people is gathering there to react and also to applaud this decision. Assange faces 17 charges for receiving, possessing and disclosing classified documents related to the national defense and one charge of computer misuse. It is the first time in history that receiving and publishing information has been criminalized. Julian Assange is charged by the U.S. administration for publications exposing war crimes and human rights abuses for which he faces a 175 years sentence. The prosecution turns necessary journalistic practices of communicating with a source and having and publishing true information into crimes. This creates a precedent that can be used against journalists everywhere. Assange has been held on remand at HMP Belmarsh in London for 20 months. The fall extradition hearing began in February 2020 and concluded in October after a hiatus due to COVID-19 at the Central Criminal Court, Old Bailey, in London and lasted for 5 weeks. The judgment will be handed down on 4th January 2021. With the reactions. These are live images about the reactions of Julian Assange's extradition, not to be extradited, the next extradition decision of the court, and people is gathering outside the courthouse to celebrate and also to support this decision. This decision also comes into a moment when journalistic activities were criminalized after Assange's case. This is the moment where people is gathering outside the courthouse in London to just support and also to gather and to rally in favor of Assange. In this case, Mr. Assange is represented by Gareth Pierce of Brimber Pierce, the solicitor, and Edward Fitzgerald QC, Mark Summers QC, and Flores Iverson. She is the counsel. Even before COVID-19, Julian Assange's lawyers experienced a considerable difficulty communicating with their client. Speaking at the hearing back in September, Edward Fitzgerald said, "We have had difficulties in getting into Belmarsh to take instructions from Mr. Assange and to discuss the evidence with him." Mr. Fitzgerald continued, "We simply cannot get in as we require to see Mr. Assange and to take his instruction." Assange had not seen his lawyers for 6 months prior to the preceding hearings in September. He has not met with his lawyers since the hearing concluded in October. And we offer you details and also these live images of people gathering outside the courthouse to support Julian Assange and also to support the decision of the courthouse, to not extradite him to the US. His extradition will mean maybe he's in danger, his jeopardization also because of his physical integrity and also his psychological integrity. Let's remember that Julian Assange is facing a 175 sentence, which is also criminalization of journalistic activities. Those are the images of people gathering outside the courthouse, supporting also the decision, and in this case, taking images of what could be one of the main decisions, a pivotal turn in the history of the court. In this case, we see the people gathering there, and we have the live sound and images of the event. The UN Working Group on Arbitrary Detention issued a statement saying that the right of Mr. Assange to personal liberty should be restored. Massimo Moratti of Amnesty International has publicly stated on their website that were Julian Assange to be extradited or subjected to any other transfer to the US, Britain will be in breach of its obligation under international law. Human Rights Watch published an article saying the only thing standing between an Assange prosecution and a major threat to global media freedom is Britain. It is urgent that it defend the principles at risk. As we can see and we can hear, people is gathering outside the courthouse. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic, they are gathering there to support this decision to not extradite Julian Assange to the US. This comes in a moment when journalistic activities will repeat. We are also being super enforced of this. This is a moment when journalistic activities were criminalized based on the Assange case. In this moment, this decision comes to decriminalize him in a certain way, and also to support him as a human being, his integrity, his physical integrity, and also the justice over him. In this case, people is shouting several slogans and several words in support of Assange and also in support of the court decision.